Good afternoon, folks, and here's a little story from Bounding into Comics that was just posted today. I guess it was talked about yesterday on Twitter about the cinematic designer to Mass Effect 2 apologizing for the final Samara romance scene, which I don't know why. There was no actual physical interaction of romance. There was a developing relationship, as you can develop any relationships in Mass Effect 2 with all the side characters. But why he's apologizing for it, nothing really happened. And that's where I'm sort of scratching my head. What the hell is this man talking about? I look at it now and it feels predatory and icky. Anyone who uses the word predatory and icky in conversations of an alien who's 1,000 years old and an adult military commander where they're just discussing what happened what are you talking about? But let's see what he has to say. So he talks about framing a lot. So the frame of how Samara is poised in this scene, everything's symmetrical. And as you slowly get to know her, you start to ask questions, the symmetry kind of breaks and Shepard's more in the picture. And they sit down with Samara and they start talking and they share these little conversations. And Samara likes the conversation. Shepard learns some stuff. If you actually remember the scenes, they're actually a bit disconnected. Samara gets slowly more animated as she describes humanity in general. And Shepard's just sort of there, just asking for information. It's kind of this weird info dump of exposition from Samara, which isn't bad, but it does feel disconnected. It's only after you pass her loyalty mission where she does open up about her daughter, her daughters, and why she became a Justicar. And in case you don't know, I do like the character of Samara, not because of her visual and her acting, her voice actor. All that's fantastic. It's the concept of the paladin archetype, or someone who has a goal, who has a plot. And there's all these reasons for a plot. And with that came the connection of the rest of the Asari culture, that there's this code that everyone follows, but no one really is strictly following it. But then there's these people called the Justicars that enact the code, and they are living embodiments of it, and they are on this crazy quest of impossible measure, and they have to enact it and figure it out how to get there. And that's dramatic, that's tragic, and we learn about why Samara is the way she is. So there's lots of reasons to be attracted to Samara as a character, not just romantically. So he goes on to say, early on, when Shepard tries to push to get her know her better, before a real relationship had been established, he continued, the blocking and framing would have Shepard intrude onto the serenity of that symmetry, subtly reinforcing that dramatic tension. I was like, that's true to some degree. I never got tension from the scene until we get to the last conversation. And that's what he's apologizing for. So here we have, oh, boom, Shepard's there. Oh, yeah, that does break away. So she has to scoot over and Shepard has to sit down and ask a bunch of questions. So the framing changes. We have a different perspective. And they're talking together. So we continue on, and so the non-romance, as everyone knew, it was a non-romance story. These two, so they would share frames where symmetry is now being reinforced and balanced. So they're now standing and looking at each other, and Shepard is moving in on her. He's talking to her, he or she. Remember, Shepard's he or she talking to Samara, and even Samara admits, "Hey, wait a second. I could find more than happiness with you. It would be possible. But my self-control is all I have." There's that beautiful line of what a character Samara is. She knows exactly what she is. Such a thing probably isn't going to work out. She is so disciplined and so focused that none of this matters. Yes, she has feelings, but she can't explore them. And of course, the suicide mission hasn't happened yet. It may be all for naught anyway. So the whole framing idea was that because Shepard pursues something, and they're all the way in the left, constantly advancing towards whatever the symmetry of the scene is, whatever that means, he has to say, for anyone I made uncomfortable with the staging of these final moments, you have my sincere apologies. I don't know how I feel uncomfortable with Shepard, male or female, going in a certain direction to show your affection for a person. I don't get it. I don't see how that's predatory. They both like each other. They both respect each other. And whether you're holding their hands and trying to be affectionate, that's normal. There's nothing inherently wrong. And for him to apologize is just like, okay, are these the people still working at Bioware now? Is this how the kind of bullshit they have to pull off to keep their jobs? It's like, oh. And this is from N7 Day, where nothing happened. We got a screenshot of a poster. And all we have is this one guy talking about how he's sorry for framing a scene from Mass Effect 2, some game that's over 10 years old. It's like, okay. And I think it's beautiful that there was no romance. There was no actual consummation. There was nothing. It was just this respect of boundaries, and Shepard keep pursuing. It's like, well, I care about you, blah, blah, blah. You're interesting. You're wonderful. You're so sad. I want to make you happy. And nothing happens. Boom. It's tragic. It's lovely. I love stories like that where you don't get exactly what you wanted, but there was still something there. Anyway, I don't know what to make of this. I think this guy is just being a Bioware employee and being Canadian and apologizing for being alive and doing his job. So anyway, thanks for listening. Have yourself a great day.